Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship, where today for the Spanish Grand Prix we've got a fair few minutes left on the session, but times have been set by everybody, and by the way, all drivers are current tier drivers. Where you finish is where you finish. 6.5 minutes on the clock. Elwain, the championship leader in P1, with his teammate in P2 in the championship, in P2 on the grid. Currently, of course, that is, as it can change, especially in conditions like these. It's Yanoldi in P3. Let's first of all look at the times though. A 22.211, a 22.5 and a 23.0. That's 0.8 difference between P1 and P2 effectively. Terence and Elwain are fairly close together, but Terence is going to be on brand new fresh tyres, and we're looking to see the driver from Hong Kong and the race winner back in Monza, and potentially you could argue that they would have been the arguably rightful winner for the Dutch Grand Prix before the safety car came out. Hopefully we don't have any more issues like that today, although a safety car is still very possible in such conditions if this carries on into the race. Terence dancing their way up the hill perfectly with some extra rotation from the green wall tyres. Elwain goes even faster, a 21.759. As these tyres get warmer and more consistent, they'll be going on to another set of tyres towards the end of the session. We've still got a long way to go, remember that for sure. As they go down the back straight across the sector line, what's it going to be for Terence? 6.5 improvement. Absolutely brilliant stuff there from the driver from Hong Kong, but it's going to have to be a bit more if they do want to go for a possible pole position competition. Oh, I've lost all my words. He's got another corner to go, and he'll be able to see what he can do across the line. And it's going to be provisional pole, a 1.124. And that is absolutely brilliant. Elwain's going to be darting back to the pit lane now to try and take that one back. I'll try and find my words this time, and hopefully we can have a bit of a better watch along with one of the drivers. We've got Yanoldi also on a set of intermediates that are 6-lap old tyres. We've got Edvir in P7 at the moment, looking to do their best in this race, but they're just saving at the moment, getting ready to go for another run. Many new drivers out on track. We welcome back Abubakar Hotiana and Jacob Holly, who is now Jaco, and then we've got further down the order, Jetamo, Daft Penguin, Donzo, all as new drivers. And we see for the first time the PF Lum twins in P15, and Daimski returns back with us in P16. It's good to see everyone today. Terence, will they go again, or are they going to go into the pit lane? That's an invalidation, unfortunately, for Edvir, so they will not be able to improve on this lap. Maverick is starting another lap here. Terence into the pit lane, so they're going to get ready for their final set of tyres. A few drivers looking to try and set a lap time at the very end on the soft tyre, hoping that maybe it dries up, but I don't think it's going to dry up. And even if it stops raining, it probably won't be dry enough for it to be beneficial to be on that soft tyre. We're yet to see anybody leave the pit lane on that red wall. And instead, we've got a few drivers just trying to gain that traction. And as you may not know, the wet condition tyres, you can do multiple laps and they still are very quick. For sure, your immediate laps will be the quickest out of the bunch, but there's a trade-off, because the more time you spend on the tyre, the more temperature you build in, and therefore the more grip relative to the temperature you gain. So that's why we're seeing a few drivers do more than 1 or 2 laps on these tyres, whereas before you'd really see one flying lap and that's it from anybody. We're going to have to get the McLaren out the way, otherwise there's going to be a big impeding moment. They do dart out of the way at the last second. It's going to be Maverick across the line, And it's going to be a 1.2 improvement to P5, 23.4. But we are getting some soft tyre runners leaving the pit lane. This is going to be crucial. Look at the track. It isn't raining anymore, I don't believe. So we are going to see what can happen now. But it was very tentative there from Isaac. They were crawling and they're still crawling. So it might be a little bit too early. It's Terence also on this compounder tyre trying to do the same thing. Is it too slippy out on track though? DRS enabled now, surely. As long as they can get those tyres up to temperature, they should have the pace. It's Jayco in P3. They improve up the order. 22.023 to finish off their session. They're not going to get another lap in of this one. Elwain's opted for the intermediate tyre for the final run in this session. It's Terence versus Elwain for pole position up front, but it's Abubakar to P2, splitting the two teammates and just missing out on Terence's lap time. Absolutely crucial stuff right here. Elwain's about to start their lap. We've got some other drivers further behind. We've got Donzo currently P13, and they're on that soft compound tyre as well. We've got a Mercedes moving out the way, but we do want to quickly have a look with Terence to see how those tyres are actually looking, and they look very, very sketchy. It's tentative stuff here from Terence. Elwain behind, but going very slowly. I don't know if they've had an issue or if they are warming up. They're warming up. They're getting the clean air in front of them, and now they go for their run. But Terence through the first corner. Oh, and it's so tough. Oh, they're going to get almost taken out by the rejoining Ferrari car. That was brutal stuff, but no. Terence is on the grass and to the right-hand side, big time. That's the lap. Done. Abubakar Artiana is, for some reason, travelling incredibly slowly to the apex and now stationary out on track. I'm not entirely sure what their plan is here, because now they're just going to get in the way by doing that. Anyway, they do what they do. It's Elwain who is going to try and improve once more here in qualifying. Can they take back the pole position time that they were holding a few moments ago? Is this the right tyre to go for, or is it not going to be warm enough? There's a big crash up in front. They're going to have to hope that they can move out the way. They do. It's Jetamo to P1, a 21.409 at the last second on the intermediate tyre as well. The softs have not seemed to work. Edvir to P2. The last minute improvements is really beneficial. It's Elwain who's gonna really benefit as well. What's it gonna be for the championship leader? It's going to be pole position, a 19.843, and he absolutely destroys the rest of the field to go to P1. Crazy Charlie Bear off the track. They will not be able to improve in the gravel. That is their session finished. Daft Penguin P13 for them at the moment. The Aston Martin rounds the final corner and goes across the line to finish their session, and they will not be able to improve. It was intermediates king. So Terence was impeded on their lap by a Ferrari car, unfortunately. But the session's done now, and we move on to the race, and we'll see what the weather is going to be like. Elwain in P1 by 1.5 seconds to Jetamo in P2, and then Edvir in P3. This is the rest of the grid. We'll go through the race director just in case, and then we will be back in a little bit for the race. We'll see you in a sec. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We're away. And it's a brilliant start from Elwain. Perfect stuff to P1 and clear from the rest of the field, but it's almost 4 wide into turn one. It's going to be a tricky corner. It's going to be a very tight turn two for the Haas as Abubakar makes contact with Edvir, who falls down the order. Lots of cars off, and there is Edvir spinning round. But it's Abubakar who gets out in front. It's Maverick in P3 who's made some big progress. Unfortunately, we see the Ferrari disqualified from the session as they weren't at their rig. So unfortunately, they're going to be out of this race. It's completely over for them. There it goes down the order. Donzo, who's pushed off the circuit for a moment. They're still in this race and there's no damage to their car, hopefully at least, I should say. Isaac on track hunting down the Alpine at the moment, but not in a position to overtake anytime soon. Lots of cars not in a position to overtake anytime soon, but they are giving it a good shot. Here's the inside line for Terrence, who dropped down the order at the beginning. There's contact. What is going on there? And Terrence has now got damage to their car. This is the championship contender who's all the way in P13 relative to their teammate who is in P1, and I'm not entirely sure what just happened. I think Terrence went to go for the move, but there was contact, and the Yellowette was able to swoop around the outside of the entire field. And now the misfortune of Terrence, the first pit stop runner of the race, and they put on a new set of tyres and they do what they can. Luckily for them, there is a 2-stop in this race that can be possible. The 1-stop will be attempted by many, especially those on the soft tyres, I should say. Dimski dropping down the order. I'm not entirely sure what's gone on there, but they're having some sort of issue, it seems. Oh, and that's going to be a bit of a push and shove moment. It's Jetamo trying to get back through, as they've also had a disastrous first few corners with the contact at turn 1 and 2. They drop down the order and they've got a bit of wing damage, but they're now trying to climb back up. A brilliant qualifying proves that they do have the pace, but just not in the rear end, unfortunately. And they're going to have to try and retake that position down the start-finish straight and into the first corner, where they will get DRS this time. It's Elwain and Abubakar who are breaking away. It's Isaac on track who switches position with Maverick in the end. We were looking to see a battle from the cars behind, but Jetamo went straight into the pit lane. And Isaac on track made that brilliant move, which we just missed out on. Jaco, just a bit further behind, looking to try and get involved in this battle as well. What we did see yesterday, though, was DRS is absolutely critical. It can lock you out of a race, and if you're in a train, you just can't do anything about overtaking the other car in front unless they make a mistake. That's what we're looking for here. It's the consistent drivers that will succeed here in Spain. Some sort of issue there up the hill for Maverick, but then compromised Jaco's run, so there it's immediately ineffective. And they can't do anything about it. That's an issue for Daft Penguin, who goes off the circuit up the hill, many cars passing through, and they're still in this race. Lucky to still be in this race, and that in the background is Dimski, who's managed to somehow keep that out of the wall by going on the gravel on the exit of turn 9. I don't know if they can afford to do that again. Maverick having some more issues, not able to stay with Isaac on track, now getting overtaken by the Sauber car of Jaco, and it's the inside line here for Yinoldi. Yinoldi's going to give it a shot, and they're going to get their car clearly in front and into turn 2 and 3. They are now P5. Not entirely sure what's happening here with Maverick. They had some brilliant pace, but they just weren't able to hold on. And they dropped down to the back of this mini pack. Can they hold on to the DRS train of the 3 cars in front and get carried along with one another? That would be the ideal scenario. Abubakar and Elwain are doing that as we speak. Getamo and Terrence both have clean air for their race, but another pit stop to make at least in this one. It's the other Alpine Donzo trying to fight with Yellowek. He's got a Grand Prix worth of experience. Oh, and just trying to keep their throttle in during dirty air. It's just not going to work out, and Edveer goes through, almost going into the back of the McLaren. That was very, very close. Edveer luckily avoids that one. Now trying to climb their way back up the field after a very tricky first few corners. Jaco, who's managed to make it ahead actually of Isaac on track, so this battle switching up a few times. Abubakar Hotiana has got past Elwain as well, so it's a new race leader for the first time here in Barcelona. How's that going to change throughout the race though, and before the pit stops? What we saw yesterday, the pit stops spread everything completely out, and then drivers were able to show their true pace. Charlie running away with it, although the tyres were very tricky to deal with. Terence would have been hopeful that they wouldn't have had any lap 1 issues, because this is a circuit where tyres can be absolutely crucial and they'll be able to save them all the way to the end of the race. Now they've got a bit of a different scenario on their hands, and they've got to hope for a bit more luck in this race after a very unlucky start. Edveer fighting further behind, and they've got a few cars in front. No movement for Jaco, Isaac and Rinaldi, but there was a retake for the lead from Elwain. A bit further behind with the Mercedes of Crazy Charlie Bear and Yellowet. We've got a good old battle going on. It's side by side with Edveer, who doesn't get the job done. They're now going to try and maybe have a go up the hill. They do just have to stay behind. Nothing will come of it. Almost having a look to the outside line. Are they going to try and brake late? It's never going to work. That was always going to get closed off. Luckily, they recognised that and they didn't go for any kind of move. I'm still interested to see how Terence and Jetamo are involved in this race later, because they're going to be making some progress in that clean air and on the fresher tyres. The 3-second time penalty to Maverick, as they've extended track limits a few too many times, not able to hold on with the other runners. Isaac on track has got a bit of a gap between themselves and the car in front. It's the Aston Martin who wants to have a go, and they're going for the move on the inside. Rinaldi going for a bit of a send, and I think they might be able to make it work, but no, coming back is Isaac on track. Are they going to get the position on track? No, they do not. They have to give in. That is a brilliant move. We see further behind Edveer stay in front, as in front of Crazy Charlie Bear, but they're just not able to get ahead of Yellowek, as these guys race together to try and catch up to the cars ahead. But 8.9 seconds, I think they're going to have to just focus on racing each other and then hope something else happens later on in this race. That's Donzo having some sort of issue, causing a momentary yellow flag, but nothing too severe to warrant any kind of safety car. Didn't realise that Yellow's actually got damage on the front left end plate of their car. So Edveer looking to try and get the move done on this lap could unleash them and show that they've got a little bit more pace in the car to really push and try and catch the battle that is happening up ahead of them. Rinaldi's made that move on Isaac, and they've still got DRS on Jaco, but those tyres are going to switch and they're not going to be too much quicker for too much longer. Abubakar in the meantime has actually lost out a couple of seconds to Elwain, who's running away with this run right now. Unfortunately, Edveer, despite having the full front wing, has just gone a bit wide and compromised their run. They will not be able to compete for the move into the first corner. They had to go slightly cautious into turn 1, as Charlie was almost in for a move. Managed to keep ahead of it. Well, now we are looking at something for Jaco and that is in the background. Damski unfortunately having more issues in this race. Terence trying to make some progress as they've now got that full front wing. There's Donzo Gamer, who's lost a few positions after having that issue, and Jetamo is catching up to do what they can in this race. The soft tyres are going to get pretty old very soon. Just in the pit lane, putting on a fresh set of soft tyres. Elway starts lap 9 of the Grand Prix, leading by 2.9 seconds. Quite enjoying their race so far. A little bit further behind, Yanaldi's trying to eye up a move within the next few laps on Jayco. Nothing can be done so far. Edvir's going to get another opportunity to make the move, and it's going to be the left-hand side as they're forced to the outside line. They're going to try and defend to the middle for a moment, and they do eventually get the position. And with no full front wing, it's going to be a potential clearance from Edvir on this lap. Can they extend that DRS range is what I'm looking for, and I think they have a good shot at doing so. They did move to the inside or middle of the circuit. Once they were ahead, it wasn't exactly illegal. I'm not entirely sure if there was contact though between the two drivers. Now Charlie does want to get involved in having a go at making a move, but despite having damage, Yellowek very, very quick right now. It is only an M plate, and they do have a Grand Prix worth of experience from yesterday's race, so you should not doubt them. Jayco having to go possibly defensive. Yanaldi just not able to make the move this time around. And these guys still 2.9 seconds, now 3 seconds away from Abubakar. And Elwain extends even further, looking to try and really rub it in for Terence, who just can't do anything about that after the start. And the championship hopes are really quite complicated at the moment, even though it's race 3, and it shouldn't really be thinking about that too much. Looking at the gap to the race leader, they've got 39 seconds to try and gain. A pit stop, let's say, is for example 20 seconds. That's a whole 19 seconds that they've got to try and gain on Elwain through something else other than strategy. There's the move, the outside line, Yanaldi goes for it. A defensive throw, and is it a switch back? No. Not possible in the end. Maverick into the pit lane, making the call off of that soft tyre. Surely we're going to get some soft tyre pit stoppers very, very soon, as these guys continue to lose out to the medium tyre runners. Edvir not able to break away from Yellowek, bringing Yellowek along with them though. But we still see these guys running as usual. Isaac on track has lost a bit of a gap to the cars in front. They don't have DRS on the two directly ahead, but they do have the pit stop surely looming to try and get onto a fresh set of tyres. You can see the Aston Martin just behind moving about without traction. And they still don't go and peel off to the right-hand side of the circuit. They still stay out. It's Isaac into the pit lane, though, as they will be... Oh, that is absolutely crucial. And the virtual safety car is deployed, slowing down the entire race. The cars will not bunch up together, but this is going to be a massive time gain for Isaac on track. Edvir, Yellowek, Crazy Charlie Bear as well. Huge advantages can be gained from this. And now we could see Isaac on track. We will see Isaac on track jump ahead of Jaco and Unaldi. But will we see them jump in front of even Abubakar and Elway? I'm not entirely convinced. What is going on here? Somehow these guys have managed to overtake each other. That's what's going on. I think it's a lapped car possibly trying to go through. Yellowet gets a drive-through penalty. Many cars getting drive-through penalties for speeding under the safety car, all of a sudden popping up. And we'll have a quick look at that. Drive-through penalties for Daft Penguin, Yellowet as well. And I'm not entirely sure what was going on, but it's going to be a move car into the pit lane after we've had that restart, and we'll see what goes on. But I'm just very confused. Everybody was slowing down all of a sudden. Abubakar was 2 seconds ahead, then all of a sudden they were right with the rest of the cars that were quite far behind. They've got damage from all of that scuffling about. And Isaac on track jumping ahead by far, and they've got effectively 5 seconds on Jaco and Unaldi. They're not going to be able to get ahead of Elwain regarding pit stops. That's going to be clear for Red Bull. But Isaac on track is going to be in P2. No question about it. A huge advantage in this race. Abubakar losing out big time as they went into the pit lane once the safety car had gone in. Edvir's now directly behind him, so is Charlie Bear. Terence was able to gain a few positions as they're now P9 in the points, even on some fresh tyres, and they're going to possibly try and take this to the end of the Grand Prix. I am fully expecting Terence to try and take this to the end of the Grand Prix. I'm not entirely sure, but I would definitely see that happening. I'm not entirely sure of the exact tyre wear, but it might be a calculation that they can make and see if it is worth doing what they're doing. They've gone purple in that middle sector, so they're not travelling slowly at all. Are they about to pump in the fastest lap of the race? And they do so, 15.901. Fresh, hard tyres. Absolutely perfect. I'm going to pretend I did not see that in the chat. Just completely, unless that was a reaction to the fastest lap or the strategy. I don't think you should be giving away the strategy. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, we continue. Yellowek in the pit lane. And onto a fresh set, I say a fresh set, a reuse set of soft tyres, which is going to take them another 10 laps about. But no more than that. Unaldi into the pit lane. Unaldi into the pit lane, and we see Isaac on track dart miles ahead. Absolutely miles ahead. Maverick as well finds himself now comfortably in front of Unaldi, as they were originally losing out quite a lot. Edvir chases Abubakar. Abubakar hunts down Unaldi, try and get back to P2 where they were before this virtual safety car, and the drama all occurred. Lap 15 out of 33. We're almost at the halfway mark of this Grand Prix. No DRS for anyone at the moment. It's Elwain into the pit lane, and we're likely to see them retain that lead as we see Jaco also going to the pit lane. So watching on board then with Isaac on track as we get the payoff. This is what we've been waiting for. How far will Isaac on track be ahead of Jayco? And I think Maverick's going to even jump them as well. It's going to be side by side with Elwain, and it's P1. I did not expect that. I wasn't looking at the time, or I was looking at the timings. I wasn't looking at the map and the screen in front of me. Isaac on track is P1 in this Grand Prix on medium tyres. Then gonna struggle to take it to the end of the Grand Prix. Elwain is not. They're good to go. They will be able to take this all the way to the line. Absolutely incredible stuff though. Isaac on track has made that move and is gonna cause a bit of a headache here for Elwain. We know how quick that Red Bull car is though. It's not going to be easy to hold off at all. Racing Bulls versus Red Bull. Maverick in P3. They've got Jayco now behind them on those fresh tyres. Hards for them as well. Yinaldi wants to have a go. You can see it. You can see how close they are. I agree, Zingy. The mediums will not be able to take the pounding from the rest of the race. They will have to go into the pit lane again. It still is a very good effort. It is Elwain back to P1, but here's the battle on track that we're looking for, and there it is. Yinaldi goes for the move and gets the job done before the corner arrives, and that's exactly what you want to do. Maximum speed, and I don't believe it. Absolutely incredible stuff. I could see that happening from a little while away, and Jayco, unfortunately, looking so quick earlier on, has just had a massive bit of oversteer through turn 3, and they've kept it in a straight line. The save of the century. I don't know how. Just wow. But yet such a shame to lose all of the progress that they just made. They're 1.7 seconds away, looking to try and make some progress here. Charlie Bear has dropped away from Edvir, who they were racing with earlier on quite closely, as the field has spread out. Isaac on track stays with Elwain. They're not going to be able to make a move. You can see how quick Elwain is. And their tyres once again are going to be going good to the ends. They're going to be very consistent. It's going to be a little bit harder to stay consistent for Isaac. We've still got another pit stop to make in this race. It's going to be an automatic promotion for Yinaldi and Abubakar. Oh, and that's a yellow. That is a big crash, and that is the safety car deployed. Yellow X out. Yellow X is out of the Grand Prix, up the hill, turn 7 and 8. An easy place to lose the car. You run up through the left-hander, you maybe go over the right and then off to the left of the circuit and into the wall. It's not a very long run to the wall. So easy to retire from the race. Now, the race leader has overtaken the safety car. The safety car will go stationary and sit and wait. So, will we get pit stops from a few drivers immediately? We do see the Aston Martin of Dark Penguin in. We could have gone a lap later. We've just missed out there. Chucha's getting a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is very frustrating. Interestingly, putting the pit limiter on very early for Elwain. They know that they've got time to spare. They don't need to worry about speeding into the pit lane. And I was expecting Isaac to really try and do something about that. Elwain has gone on to the medium tyre. I'm not sure they had another tyre to go for. They've gone on to the medium tyre. Can that medium compound take them to the end of the Grand Prix? It can. It's going to be very tricky. And all of a sudden, Isaac on track in my opinion, is going to be very, very quick. Ed Veer accidentally on the intermediate compound tyre. Terence will be brought back into this race after their issues earlier on. They are definitely going to try and take these medium tyres to the end. They'll get an extra position as Ed Veer will be making a pit stop. And then we'll get to racing once more. Unfortunately, it is Donzo and Churches who are in the grid at the moment as lapped cars. They just have to try and keep it clean. It does split the top two, which is very frustrating, but part of the F1 game, unfortunately. You've just got to allow it to be the case. And having a car in between isn't exactly ideal. But Isaac on track once again has a potential tyre advantage in this race. Donzo. Car behind, I think, unless they're two cars behind, no, a car directly behind. They've got their teammate close to them. That's why I was getting a little bit confused. Almost making contact there, it is Donzo. They've got to make sure that they don't do that again as a lapped car. Edvin makes the pit stop, loses the position to Terence, but catches back up. Not entirely sure what Donzo's looking for here. Almost making contact on many occasions. That was a big lag spike. I thought we saw the end of Isaac's race in such a prime position to get a great result here today. Terence makes their way casually to the rest of the field. And the safety car is in. Darth Penguin has to get a move on. That is what happens if you're not able to make it in time. And the safety car will go in. It's going to be Elwain restarting. It's going to be Chuchus to react. Isaac on track will not be able to react to this one. The safety car's in the pit lane now. We can go at any point. And it will be the mercy for Isaac of the lapped car. They can't overtake. And Elwain breaks away massively. They have to let the lapped car go through. It's all a massive melee. And eventually they sort themselves out. What was going on there? No! Isaac's slowing down because the lapped car did not allow them to go through. Now they're speeding back up and they all go into the first corner. Completely bundled together. I don't know what's going on. The inside line here for Abubakar, who once again has damage. That must have happened under the safety car conditions. And it's Yinaldi who jumps in front. Out of all of this, there's contact between the two. Oh, and a massive spin. Abubakar down and down the order big time. And that was contact with Jaco on the inside line. I don't believe it. That's surely damage here for the Sauber car. It is damage. And it's Terence who's also got damage on their front end plate. It's all chaos from many cars. They're still able to be in this race, and it might be worth just staying out with that front wing damage if it's only an end plate. But that was just absolutely treacherous to deal with, unfortunately. And hopefully we don't have that happen too many times again. DRS enabled as we are for sure once again racing. There's the inside line, and there's the position from Edvir Maverick. Interestingly, backing out quite aggressively from that one. They're very close to the cars in front. There's the inside line for Isaac, who is trying to make progress on the rest of the field after losing all of what they could have possibly had. Looking like they were going to be competitive for the win, but they unfortunately just slightly overtook the lapped car, who slowed down before the line and caused quite a few problems. I do apologise, Mars will get this sorted. So I apologise for all the concerns. Not entirely sure what happened to Abubakar there. Been some sort of issue. Parents has an issue further as well into this race to try and make their progress once again. Are we now 4 seconds ahead of the field? The closest battle is here. Oh, and that's not going to work out too well. Jaco trying to stay in front, but with no damage. Isaac on track is going to have the advantage, and they'll look to try and get through in a matter of time. They've definitely had some confidence. Can they keep it together? Can they get that move done? We'll wait for the DRS zone. When I say DRS zone, it's not exactly that great of an overtaking opportunity, but if there's damage to the Sauber, will they be able to get a run? No. Still pretty competitive up the hill through the right-hander with the damage to that car. Still enjoying it from Edvir's point of view as well, with no damage. Not able to get past that Sauber, but here's the second opportunity into the first corner here for Isaac, who is just struggling in the dirty air. It looks like DRS, ERS available. It's going to be a long old run to the first corner if they can actually get any kind of move done, but it's Edvir who's on the attack instead. It's almost going to be 3 wide. It's a big send. There's contact. Oh, that's not going to go very well, and Edvir swoops through. It's an immediate position gain, and it's actually a position loss here from Isaac, as a switchback was available there for the Sauber car, who's now going to try and hold it around the outside, but with no damage, or no front wing I should say. That's not going to help, and it's not going to be possible. That was a brilliant spotted opportunity from Edvir, as the two cars in front of them battle it out, and Maverick's going to try and get involved in this, but just finding understeer as they go into the left-hander of turn 8. Jetamo just behind from a brilliant qualifying position. They drop down the order. They've climbed back once again. Terrence a little further behind us. They've made that move on Daft Penguin, who almost goes into the back of them. Needs to make sure that they don't do that again. Very lucky to avoid some sort of issue there. Lap 25 out of 33, and this man puts the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in, and they are definitely on a mission to do something here today. The DRS train has definitely formed, with Edvir leading, Isaac on track, just waiting for their tyres to be beneficial in this race, which is only a matter of time. Ooh, a big 3-second time penalty there for Isaac on track, who has a moment and goes all over the place. And that's now DRS lost in the process. Isaac on track going from looking at possibly taking victory, struggling due to chaos in front, going back down the order, climbing back once again, and now just having more issues. It's a hell of a roller coaster of a ride that they're having to deal with right now. Maverick, a 3-second time penalty as well to their name. P1, P2, Elwayne and Yinoldi breaking away. Crazy Charlie Bear holding on to a very good position here today as well. It's Jaco and Isaac on track who switch positions. As Jaco, despite having that damage, is loving life out on track on this hard compound tyre. 3 seconds for Isaac on track, it's 6 seconds for Maverick, it's 3 for Penguin, 16 for Donzo and 23 for Chuchus. The rest of the field have no time penalties. A lot of cars behind them, a lot of pressure, especially with that front wing damage, but it doesn't seem to be affecting them too much. It's the inside line though, surely going to be chosen. It is going to be Isaac to the inside. It's going to be a tricky one, a very tight amount of space left, but not really too much of a concern, I'd suggest, from Jaco, because now they're going to get DRS into the first corner, and they're going to have the opportunity to immediately take that position back. And we will see Isaac on track have the track position with the front wing available as well, but ERS is going to be there for the Sauber car, and turn 1 is going to be their best friend. The position is immediately gained, and that was unfortunately a pointless overtake for Isaac on track. It lasted just a matter of corners. Probably cost them a little bit more energy than they really needed to spare to get that move done, and now they have no energy to retake it. So Jaco has played that to absolute perfection as they come to the closing stages of this Grand Prix and try and take their front wing as long as they can into the race. Terrence in P9 at the moment, as they've got no one around them to really challenge them for anything. A 6-second time penalty for Maverick in front though. Oh no! And Terrence is into the wall. It's not going to be a safety car. It's just going to be damage. And down the order, I was going to say there's 2 seconds to be gained by Terrence and they can get P8. But now, no front wing. It's going to have to be a safety car. I don't think they'll lose the position to Daft Penguin if they do go into the pit lane and come back out again. But that was tough. Their teammate running away with this lead. 2.6 seconds, I'd say, running away, but actually Yinoldi is very, very quick at the moment. Possibly more of a management game right now for Elwayne. Crazy Charlie Bear trying to hold on as Edveer has caught up and has really done a good job. It's the battle for the podium in the last stages for these two. They've held on to it for such a long time as Charlie Bear. It will be their first possible podium. Edveer looking to try and return once again. Can they get the job done? That's the question. And it's what they're hunting for. Will we get the answer? Or is it going to be a mystery in the end? ERS available for Edveer, catching up. No ERS available for Charlie. It's going to be the outside line. A clear defence to the inside. All of a sudden a movement, and it's going to be Edveer taking no other invitation but to the inside line. That was an interesting strategy from Charlie, which just did not work at all. And Edveer goes through. And with the battery and with the confidence that they seem to have in that car, I think it might be position done. Let's see, can the Mercedes catch back up and attack? If not, let's go and watch on board with Jaco, who's got, once again, cars directly behind them. And is really causing trouble. Oh, it's going to be side by side up the hill. And it's going to be Isaac on track getting once again in front. But how long is that going to last for? Is it going to be another re-overtake manoeuvre? Or is this going to be one corner earlier to get that move done, and one corner enough to be ahead by the end of turn 1. Lap 30 out of 33, they're about to start. Having to lift off the throttle to get to the final corner, but then blasting on the battery. No ERS available for the racing ball car, and it will be another position gained and a clear move into the first corner way before they even got onto the brakes. Isaac on track has to do something about this, because otherwise they're not going to be able to take that position. But it's just a little bit tough at the moment. That's Charlie Bear holding on to the back of Edvir, and they really do have something to play for in this race. I thought it was going to be Edvir breaking away, but it's not. And we're going to get a hell of a race to the end. Elway manages their pace in P1, Yanoli in P2. Just watching on board to see how their race is going, and they do have it very much under control here today in Barcelona. Yanoli as well, needing to push anything at the moment, just trying to maintain that pressure on P1, just in case Wayne does get themselves a time penalty or something like that. DRS available for the Mercedes car. They open up that rear wing and they catch back up, but they're not going to be in an attacking position. Isaac on track is once again ahead, but this time it looks like it might be for good, as the Sauber car is going to go on the attack. The outside line is their choice. Can they swoop it through? No. This time the front wing is not going to be there, and that might be it. That could be the position gained. Is Isaac on track P5 for good for the end of this race, until the time penalties, I should say, are applied. Now we are going to have a look here at Terence and Daft Penguin. Terence on this soft tyre, having to make that extra pit stop. They once again pump in another fastest lap to prove who is boss. The inside line is available, and there it is, under braking. They will send it very hard, but still secure it just about. It's another attack being thrown here by Daft Penguin. They are using the battery, they're not making it too easy, but there it is. The driver from Hong Kong, the multiple race winner, is breaking away. That was almost a race ender for Daft Penguin. They've kept it out of the wall this time. On the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Elwayne is taking this one a long way, but it's a good old battle further behind. It's going to be a tricky defence here from Isaac. As what's going on with the lap car, I don't know. Jayco just wasn't able to do enough to make the move. But Jayco doesn't need to worry about really getting anything done. They just need to try and stay close to the back of Isaac until the last little moment. And if it goes the same way for Isaac, they might be able to cross the line ahead before Jayco can do anything about overtaking with DRS and ERS. Maverick and Jetamo do drop back a little bit in the last stages here. And it's going to be Terence breaking away from Daft Penguin to make that P9. Lots of battling here. It's side by side, and what's gone on there? Crazy Charlie Bear down the order. I didn't see what was going on. What happened? Trying to hunt down Edvir, missing out on P3, and now they're all the way down in P7. What a disaster here in the final laps here for Crazy Charlie Bear, who's got damage. And now they've lost it to Maverick, Jayco and Isaac on track, who've got their battle to come here in the final stages. Jetamo looks to try and make an overtake as well. Are we going to just quickly have a look and see what the Haas can do as they easily make that move? The damage is available on that car, unfortunately. Jayco, they'll have one opportunity to try and make it work, but we do have to watch on quickly as we will see Elwain take victory here in Barcelona. Absolutely perfect stuff here. Is it going to be a move? It will not. It is a brilliant effort, but we will have to see. No further overtaking. Elwain takes victory. It's Yanoldi in P2 and Edvir climbs all the way back to P3 after a terrible, terrible start. Perfect stuff for them. Isaac on track. They do have a time penalty. They've held on for P4 on track. It's going to be Jaco for P4, then Maverick, and then we will see. Actually, no. Isaac on track, then Jetamo. As Maverick drops further down the order, Crazy Charlie Bear, they cross the line in P8. It's going to be Terrence in P9 ahead of Daft Penguin, who's not too far behind, to be honest, but with the time penalty situation, that's not really going to matter. This man has had a tough one, and you can see just showing the body language in the car as they get to the final moments of this race. And it's definitely a tough sight to see when you have such a bad race and your rival, let alone your teammate, has almost a perfect race. Elwain, for 2 victories this season now, is extending their championship lead. A brilliant job. There's the top step of the podium for them. It's Elwain once again on top. It's Yanoldi in P2 and Edvir in P3 for a double Dutch delight. Jaco in P4. We've got Isaac on track, Jetamo Maverick. Crazy Charlie Bear missing out on a fight for the podium. Terrence in P9. Daft Penguin in P10. Just missing out on the points there is Donzo Gamer. Then we've got Chuchus, and DNFing earlier on was Abubakar Hotiana. We've got Yellowek, Dimesky and Twins at the back of the field. We've got the race director on the screen, and then we go through the instant section, and finally to the pit stops, and then we will be back for the post-race interviews after just one quick skim over again on all of the results. Thank you very much. We will see you in a few moments for the interviews and hear from all the drivers about how their races went. Hello everyone, welcome to the post-race interviews of the Spanish Grand Prix. That was Drama City, I think is fair to say. We got through it in the end, and we start the interviews with Yellowek. Unfortunately, it didn't go quite to plan in the end of DNF for you, but Yellowek, can you take us through the race? There was so much that went on today, and qualifying was pretty tricky as well.
Yes, it was. Let's start from the qualifying. To be honest, I trained the wet conditions, but in the rain, not in the quali. So I just had no peace in quali. So I end up plus being 11th. To be honest, I had a good lap, my last lap, when DRS was enabled, but I spun out in corner 3, turn 3, so a bit unlucky. So I started 11th, I think, and oh my god, what the start it was! I don't know what to start with. So I had a decent start, not bad to be honest, but my teammate, some other kick driver, just had very bad start, so I had to avoid him and I lost one place, I guess. And then in first two corners, this chicane, I have no idea what happened here. There was some crash. I think I got hit, or I don't know what. Uh, I ended up by spinning out. To be honest, that was more like half spin, and I had wing damage, front wing damage. It wasn't very bad, but then I recovered, and to be honest, piece was pretty good, better than I expected it to be. There were a few guys that were doing some crazy things, I would say. I best, I don't know. Oh my god, I don't know what to start with these guys. They were spinning out every corner. They were overshooting every corner. And I got a few position. Then Edward, the McLaren driver that spun at first corners, I think he had collision. Then he catch me and we had such a nice fight, to be honest. We stayed in DRS train. Then suddenly for me, VSC came and I had to go to the pits, but I forgot to change settings to repair my front wing. Oh my god, I just messed up this. After the VSC, like when VSC were ending, I was like 1/10 delta on the red, so I got drive-through penalty. Then when I wanted to serve this penalty, I have no idea why my pit crew just changed my tires, and I I didn't serve this penalty. The worst part was that they changed my tires and the tires were soft, so
Oh
that's a
no.
bit not optimal for lap 11. Yeah, then I came up to the pit second time. Uh, I I ended this. I was like 10th, something like that. I had very good pace. My engineer said me that I am 4 or 3 tenths, something like that, faster than the leaders. But of course, I was on the new soft, so I did a fastest lap. One guy took this fastest lap from me. I don't remember who. And then in the turn 7 and 8, I think this chicane that goes uphills, I was pushing like crazy to maybe catch up to the other guys, and some Mercedes driver spun out in this corner in front of me. That make me lose focus, and there is a sausage curb. I touch it, too much throttle, ended up spinning out and kissing the wall, I would say.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's today, so
Yeah, a
sweet
big old
kiss.
kiss to the wall. Yeah, I'll be honest. A couple of years ago, I had that exact same crash, so it's easily done.
Oh.
No one blames you for that. It was tough. It was a tough old race, and yeah, it ended early, but there was a lot of chaos in it. So moving on to the next one in Spa, Belgium. Is that a circuit that suits you? It's a very long lap.
That was a question?
Yeah. Is it a circuit that suits you? Do you prefer Belgium
Ah,
over
okay, okay.
Barcelona?
To be honest, before this race, because I also raced yesterday, I would easily say that Spa, and I will still say Spa is better track. I don't know why there is Spain in this calendar. I hate this track so much in this game. Uh, but to be honest, I'm a bit sad because I had a good piece in this race, and yesterday it wasn't very bad. I didn't end up last in higher league,
Mm.
so I think Spa is better track. I like it, I would say. It's not my favorite track, but I like it. I know that a lot's gonna happen. I expect some safety cars because this track is pretty difficult. I think it's very long circuit, so there's a lot of places to make mistakes. Qualifying is also important. It's not that easy to overtake. Uh, You have a long straight, but it's not the best. It's not Abu Dhabi, for example, or Austria. It's not that easy to overtake.
Yeah.
So, answering to your question, yes, this track suits me.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it goes well for you there, and I can't wait. Thank you very much, Jolek. Really sorry to
Thank you.
see it all go the way it went, but the, the bad races only make the good ones great. So thank you very much. And that's
Thank
been
you.
it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next weekend for the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa-Francorchamps. And that's been it. Have a good one. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.